My leg! I'm red.
Alright, ads are playing.
These things take violence and timing.
So
I can do
You guys, there's a new Call of Duty game.
What's Call of Duty?
It's just a remake.
No one
All of
cares.
them are remakes. Since the first Modern Warfare, they've all just been remakes.
Did I play a Call of Duty? Oh yes, I did play some.
I liked
Guys, I
Modern
just want to
Warfare 2
say
a lot.
that my internet was being reasonably stable until like now.
Yeah, classic.
Well, I don't think it's coincidence. I think
No.
it's all of the extra effort of receiving video from
Yeah,
all of
for
us on
sure.
Discord and sending it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
that doesn't make it less annoying.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Kill Elon Musk. You guys,
Yeah.
while we're live on stream, let's work with our chat to make the best assassination attempt against Elon Musk possible.
Oh god.
He's at Twitter HQ. So
Oh
we know
shit,
where
you're
he
right.
is.
We know exactly where he's at. Now all we need are some planes.
He's making some pretty big claims. He's gonna turn Twitter into the U.S. version of WeChat.
I'm sure.
What is WeChat?
It's very
It's-
popular in Asia.
Yeah, it's literally the only messaging, payment, etc., etc., etc. service that Chinese
It's
people
an
use.
it's an everything app.
I thought that had a different name.
You're thinking of WhatsApp, but WeChat
No,
is
no,
used
no.
in China.
There's a Chinese
You're
app
thinking
that
of
I'm thinking.
Kakao.
QQ is what you think
TikTok.
of.
Oh yeah.
QQ
Yeah,
is
that's-
usually popular over there too.
Yeah, WeChat is everything though.
Everything.
And who do you chat
You're
with?
thinking of Pornhub.
Ah.
But that's just
You're
what you're
right.
always
You're
thinking
right.
about.
Hello everyone.
You're right. You're right.
I'm rolling my
Welcome
D6.
to
Oh, I'm
We
sorry.
are-
ZweihanderRPG.
Rated
We're-
R
we're-
stream.
Fuck.
We're ready. Did you? Oh, Nate. You're
Did
gonna
we
be-
give a 2?
Yeah. You're gonna be the death
Play
of
high
everybody.
five, Nate. Let's go.
You guys can still give him one. Don't worry.
No, everybody else
No,
rolled.
I think
Oh, did
I think
they?
starting
Yeah.
now.
Oh, you guys.
I think starting now.
Oh, Cody did too.
Topher should be given permission to use your misfortune dice.
He's still doing his own
wait.
thing.
Yeah, wait until we get through tonight, guys.
Yeah.
No, we
I
don't trust you.
Don't
We're gonna kill
intend
you.
to wait.
He's
I
not a
really
bad
don't.
guy.
He's not a
Oh,
bad.
shut the hell up.
Why would you say he's a bad guy? He's got a heart full of black ichor that's drawn from the chaos and primordial magics of the people we're here to
And
kill.
he turned Agent
Listen,
Bruce
no.
fully against us.
When
Oh,
you
that's
say
wrong.
it that
That's-
way, it
that's-
sounds
that's not-
bad.
Yeah, I
True.
mean,
Don't worry, Topher. Cody
But
thinks
that's not
all of my
true.
characters are bad guys too.
Uh,
yeah, that's true.
I don't know
Cody-
why.
They're not all bad guys. They just all do evil shit, and that's true.
No,
Right,
it's not.
Yeah, come on.
It's like 50-50.
Yeah, exactly.
What evil shit has Olivia done in Western
Yeah.
Forbidden
I have.
Frontier?
To be fair, I've barely played that game. I think
Yeah.
Olivia seems. I think her child really mellowed her out compared to
well.
the rest.
Yeah.
Compared to the
You're not
rest
wrong.
of your character.
You're not wrong. Uh,
So first of all, heart has been cleansed from the.
Oh
nope,
my
it's
God.
not clean anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's clean.
Eden, as
Meta
far as
knowledge
anybody
we know.
knows,
It's-
yeah.
I'm talking out of character.
As far as
even
anyone
then,
knows.
I don't
Don't
need
pull
that
this
information
philosophical
in
bullshit
character.
right off the bat. No,
Hey, this is
We got
it.
shit to do.
Yeah,
We got rats to kill.
we don't have time for philosophy
Listen, Cody, you
101.
can't
Also-
metagame,
also-
okay? You
also-
you don't
I'm not
know.
metagame. I don't need to know.
Yeah, he still
I,
hates you. He still
I'm not-
fairly hates you.
I think I have plenty of reasons to fucking hate you.
Yeah,
He's the bad guy because he's the only guy on the group.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all just hardcore feminists. This is an
Yeah.
allegory.
He was
He's
actually
sort of a Christ figure.
he was
They hated
ex-
Jesus because he spoke the truth.
yeah, he
One of
was
those situations.
excommunicated.
No, they hated Jesus because he could turn water into wine and
Ooh, and it really crashed
the
the
wine
alcohol
industry
market.
to
Yeah.
the ground.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
what
and
they
same with
did.
the
Turned
fishing
water
industry.
into funk.
Yeah,
Jesus
the
also
guys who
had
No,
like
that's old Greg.
had lots of
Ah.
power, so they
He's a
didn't
slimy
want
man.
to.
Daily man.
I changing water into wine. They wouldn't destroy their business.
yeah.
Come on.
True.
Well, Jesus also had like chaos spawn fungus in his heart, I think.
Yeah,
You
if
know
I'm
that-
remembering
Yeah.
the Old
Walking
Testament.
on water.
I
Come
remember
on.
that part. So welcome everybody. This is Scarlet Sash Stories, a regularly run show blessed by the creators of ZweihanderRPG with their full permission and express consent.
I'm concerned.
The views of Fiends and Friends do not reflect
Yeah.
the views of Grim and Perilous Studios or the Zweihander RPG Twitch channel.
Yeah, so we are Fiends and Friends, a separate but related organization that runs this show.
Religious organization.
Yeah.
That's time being.
We're taking some steps to safety.
Tax exempt religious organization.
We meet
Here to talk
weekly
to you about
Yeah,
our Lord and
Lord.
Savior, the Orcs God.
Yeah, and
The Orcs God.
We need to give him a name. I suggest Tommy.
Great tusked one.
Maybe he has a name.
Yeah,
His
maybe
name's
we'll look
John.
him up and he'll say his name is
Oh.
Tommy.
I want to
That's
call him
possible.
Bob.
Bob's a good
I'm not
name.
calling it Planet Bob.
Bob the God.
Cody got it. We're not calling the planet Bob.
We're here today to do episode, 38. What did I put on the title?
Oh,
Something
last
like
week
Yeah,
was
30. No, it's 38 this week. 37 last week.
Okay.
Episode 38. This episode is called Redemptions for maybe, hopefully, relevant reasons.
Oh,
And to recap, very briefly, a country was destroyed by a falling star. This has thrown everything into whack, as you might expect. The characters...
Into whack or out of whack?
It's a little of both. But we're not going to discuss the philosophy of that question either. And our characters here have been drafted against their will into a prison battalion and have gone on a bunch of adventures that have culminated with them trying to save the imprisoned god of the orcs. And this orcs god, the Great Tusked One, is infected with some kind of giant chaos-infused mushroom entity that's been collectively named the miasma. And so last episode, the Sash Bearers, the characters here, your player characters, broke into a shadowy tower where a shadow mage was doing shadowy things. And they had a nice long talk with him about how they're going to help him save his gods back from wherever he came from. And he's going to help them save the Orcs god, because hopefully the Orcs god, the Great Tusked One, knows the secret or the key bit of information or material needed to ensoul something with divinity. And so they have struck an alliance that was nearly disrupted by a rescued man who was imprisoned in a death-like state for around 140 years by the Shadow Mage. And so this Shadow Mage guy, maybe not the most upright of characters, but does what he thinks he needs to do to get things done. And so music stopped. We left off with Nabeen having talked down
there it is.
the mercenary who was trapped and captured and forced to be a security camera for the last, century and a half. And
Relatable.
yeah, I mean, who among us? Shout out Jeff
Among
Bezos. Oh God. And so yeah, the plan as it stands was that the Shadow Mage was going to disguise our player characters as himself, a figure of great fear among the Skurzak outside the castle, so that they hopefully could abscond from the castle to the stalk of the miasma mushroom, enter the stalk, climb to the cap, and sever the connection that the pseudo deities known as the 13, these sort of up-jumped rats sever their connection to the divinity of the tusked one that they are siphoning off with this miasma mushroom. And yeah, that's about where we stood when we ended. Nabeen had just told the mercenary that he will get his chance for revenge, but now is not the time. And he said, well, I hope it's fucking worth it. And I believe I actually cut Chris off as she was going to have a rejoiner, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
So that's where we are. Hart. Oh yeah, I forgot about Hart. Hart's not with the party right now. Hart has chosen to go off on his own, having been going through almost as tumultuous a body situation as Celine in the last day or so. Though his was less consensual, I guess. I don't know. Like, Celine did it to herself, and Hart kind of sort of did
I went through all the effort to give
Hart
myself
wanted to be the general.
magically destroy his body, and then literally 2 episodes later, he had it
Art
back.
literally ripped out his own
Fucking
heart.
horseshit.
Listen, I wanted to be the general, but I didn't know that there was going to be side effects to my body. Okay, I had to act.
Oh, bullshit.
in the moment.
You ripped your
Yeah,
heart out to
and so
eat it.
he made the most reasonable decision anyone in that situation could
You're
have
such
made.
a bad liar, Topher. Also, can I interrupt for a moment something non-game related?
Have you
Look
ever
at this
asked to do that before?
Oreo.
What the fuck?
What did you do?
Like, it was all stuck together. Like, one of them wasn't on, and the other... It's like a double stack. Yeah.
That's
just
good.
Is that double
naturally.
stuff or are those normal?
They're normal. They're
Good.
topping ones.
Double stuff is disgusting.
Actually, I
Yes.
think technically these are double stuff.
Dude, I love
toppings.
being double stuffed. Wait, no.
I don't know though, because like I think double stuff is becoming the norm for some of these.
I hate
Yeah.
double stuff.
Gross.
Obesity
I
is
love double
will do
stuff.
that.
They're awful.
I just like the cookie part. I don't care much for the filling. I usually
It's the
scrape it
wrong
off.
ratio.
I'm
Yeah.
the other way.
The
I don't
Oreo
care for the
thins
cookie
though,
Cookie
fucking
part's
great.
good.
They're perfect.
I don't know. I think the filling is usually the best part.
You
Me
mean
too,
that
Topher.
toothpaste that they put in there? Pretty
Yeah.
good.
No, only
It's
if it would
pretty
be
good.
lit. Then it's
Anyway.
toothpaste.
If you don't
Circling
eat
back.
toothpaste, you're a bitch.
Yeah. I actually scraped
What's-
the filling off my Oreos and put actual
What's the
toothpaste.
rating on this stream? I
It's
NC-17.
Yeah, there you go, NC-17.
You knew
Someone
there was a
keep it.
number in
Adult,
there.
adult approval suggested.
Yeah. What's that? What they put on CDs?
Parental.
Parental advisory.
advisory.
Yeah, parental
Yeah, that's-
advisory. Have your parents watch this with you, kids.
Well, they actually get the message that shows up when they do that.
Yeah, it is, and it is.
They have to
against-
agree.
I had to tell my my freshman students it is against the Twitch terms of service to lie on that
Mm-hmm.
that little prompt. So don't do it. They don't know
Get your
about
parents' permission, kids.
they don't know about this channel, so we're safe here. So yeah, is there?
host Zweihander? No,
We do actually. So
We're on
it's
Zweihander.
possible.
We're not
they
that
do.
safe.
Yeah, possible that they have already
So
figured it
if
out.
any of Hunter's students are here, I just want you to know that you're all bitches and stop.
Wow.
I can say that I'm an educator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think that's how that works.
it is
I
actually.
get it.
I don't think it's a good time to go telling that type of stuff to the
Hey, man,
students
I just play
because
games
it's
here.
the parent teacher convention is going to be soon, so
Yeah, actually, parent teacher conferences
better.
are next week. So don't tell
yeah,
your
so
parents.
much better. Yeah.
Now that I think is
Wait a
the worst
second.
thing to
Yeah.
say in this whole setup. So take that one back real fast, and then we'll
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. Remember, not the the views of Grim and Perilous Studios. So is there anything? Well, we will do this sort of two-parter. We have Hart and Agent Bruce making their way downtown, walking fast, killing rats, and I guess the B team is the best way to describe you guys.
They're
the A
definitely the
team.
B team.
with the Shadow Mage.
Excuse you,
Yeah,
sir.
no.
And so again, I want to reiterate the like cadre that you have with you. You have the mercenary displaced in time, the rat son of Selene, who is slowly
He's a good
understanding
boy.
what metacognition is.
I'm so proud of
Um,
him.
Nesgrin's brother Ardron in a rat body, having died and been partially resurrected by Nesgrin's touch. And Korna, the sentient orcs witch you rescued way back in the day.
I love Corna. She's my friend.
She's a bro.
She is everyone. She's a friend to all the boys and girls. Corn of the Orcs. We'll start a song.
I still have the mushroom for her head.
Oh yeah, she gave you that mushroom from her eye socket.
Eyeball shroom.
Yeah.
I gotta grow Boogan babies one of these days.
Oh
I want
god.
to smoke some eyeball shroom.
You wanna-
Oh my god! What would that be like smoking a mushroom that can be made that makes Boogan babies? Would I grow Boogan babies in my lungs?
Oh my
There's only
yeah,
one
it's
way to find out.
popcorn lung.
Yeah. And yeah, so Korna had just not really scolded the Shadow Mage, but had a bit of a talk with him. The mercenary had just resisted doing something foolish, and you are all standing here around this spinning shadow computer, the Umbral engine that the Shadow Mage uses to enact a variety of things, and what he plans to use to obscure all of you.
Wait. Oh right. He can give us like
False.
facial magic. He's not
We're
gonna
gonna
know.
look like him.
Yeah, it's an illusion, like a illusory self. So then all of you,
Illusory scientist.
yeah, and so he will say, you know, once you are all disguised and leave the castle, you'll want to make your way towards the stalk of the mushroom. I can use some of the shadow magic here at my disposal to kind of like, what's the best way to describe this? Like, usher you there with the shadows. So like the way that
Little guides on the ground.
yeah, so it would be like an umbral spectral kind of like wisps of shadow that would go out ahead of you and tell all the rats to clear the way, presuming that some of them will listen out of respect and some will listen out of fear.
Damn, that's hot.
That's what most relationships are based on. A little bit of
Yeah.
respect, a little bit of fear.
And those are also tend to be pretty hot.
Yeah. Is there anything that anybody wants to ask or do or prepare? You kind of have your home team. The NPCs are going to stay here with the Shadow Mage and protect him because he told you that he suspects that the 13 will realize he's working against them pretty quickly. And so it's possible that some contingent of rats may be dispatched here if they can be spared. Yeah.
So can we get healing or not? Because I don't remember if we choose A or no.
It has. So I guess that's kind of up to you guys. It is nearing the end of this day that began at the Soul Tower when Hart killed himself and took the body of the general. This is still the same day, like 11 hours after that. So it's evening time. You could choose to rest and do your mission in the morning, I suppose, and see what conditions are like then. But you all know that, I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. Is
I don't think that we should spend the time. The biggest distraction of this, like, the rat war happening,
Yeah.
and like the whatever's going on with the airship, we're gonna lose the advantage of the smoke screen that gives us if we wait.
Okay, let's go.
And the
Let's
Shadow
get
Mage.
it.
Go ahead.
Let's get it.
Oh, okay. The Shadow Mage will then instruct all of you to stand around the machine, and he will beckon those of you that are being disguised to stand at. Can you not grab yourself, Chris? Are you too hidden? There you go. To stand at various points around the machine, like the four of you kind of arrayed in an arc, because he will stand at the pedestal right here. And he'll say, with this machine, I'd say I'm able to amplify my magic, and I will be able to obscure you, but any like greatly like I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Like, I don't want to say hostile action because that's too like mechanical. But if you do anything too exerting or overly strenuous or whatever, like combat, it will disrupt the illusion. And so he can disguise the four of you, and basically you're relying on his reputation and the shadows like harbinger to allow you safe passage to the stock. And he says, okay, it's gonna get a little bit weird for just a little bit, but bear with me. This will not hurt you. It may be a little alarming to begin with. And he reaches out his hand to touch the pedestal when the door over here is slammed completely off of its hinges, and in steps a colossal white-haired man. And he says, "What are all you gits doing in here?" And he says, "Nobody move." And I can't grab it. Grab it. From behind him rolls a green-eyed, red-haired halfling with a crossbow.
Oh, these are the dweebs.
And the halfling says, "Now what kind of unholy nonsense is going on here?" And from behind, you see another halfling woman clad in plate armor, and she raises her visor and she says, "Looks like some gosh darn shadow magic," and draws her sword. And the big fellow says, "Which one of you's the shadow mage?"
I mean, it is that. Do you know these guys? It's this guy. Do you know these guys?
And he looks to you and he says, "Are these your companions? What are they doing here?"
No, these are with us.
don't
Are you
know who
guys
the
the
hell
one
they
that came on the airship?
"You saw us up there?" The big
Yeah,
man
we're
says.
not blind. There
How
was
long-
alarms going off.
"How long have you been here?"
Oh, I don't know, like 10 hours or something.
I think we stayed the night in the tower, didn't we? We rested.
We got
there?
a rest, but we didn't
Yeah.
sleep, I don't think.
Pretty sure you all slept at least a little
Did we?
bit. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's been a while. Two
Oh,
more
Green didn't.
two more follow in behind. And
One looks like a beggar,
yeah.
an old hobo beggar.
Bro, you relax on Nibis Farser right now.
Yeah. So you don't know this, but this is Morg of the Cold Savagery.
Lord of the cold savagery.
Tenon Mossy Eyes. So Morg was a jailer, has since taken on a new profession. Tannen was a pamphleteer, a charismatic halfling. Nibis was a gnome beggar. Arnulf, a human import-export professional. And Arissa is a halfling. She was a guard in Big Sar and is now doing other things. And they all kind of look at each other and look at the four of you standing around this machine with the Shadow Mage. And Morg says, "Are we gonna have to kill him?" And Tannen says, "Well, just wait a second. We don't know what's going on here." Tannen steps forward, clearly the face of the group here. And he says, "Now look, we don't care too much what kind of unholy shadow magic you lot have going on here. All we need is that." And he points to the hanging body of the umbral engine as it spins around the glowing interior. And
you can have that in like probably like another 24 hours and it's yours. We have to go kill God first.
We're not killing God, we're saving God, I thought.
Well, yeah, we're gonna kill that God. We have to kill another. We have to kill the rat God.
Wait,
the
the rats
13.
aren't gods, yo.
No, they're. I don't actually think that. It was just trying to get a point across quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we're gonna go kill the 13. You guys want to come
Yeah.
help? It'll help get this back to you faster.
kill the 13?
Yeah,
The
rats suck.
You know they're like gods, right?
Yeah, we just had that little back and forth
Yeah.
a second ago.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
so
saw that.
We did. I was just, you know, in terms of, you know, I'm not much of a betting man, but I wouldn't put too much on. And he kind of looks the four of you. 4 women, maybe 3 women and a goblin.
Oh my god, are you
That's
fucking
sexist
kidding
and that's
me?
racist, you
Now-
piece of shit.
Now, Cody, imagine this is Matt's character leading this group.
You fucking. And I look at the one woman in their party because it's like an inverse of ours. And I go, "You put up with this shit?"
And she steps forward in her clanking plate, and she says, "Now, I don't pretend to always agree with Tannen, but in this case, it seems like maybe the odds are stacked against you."
I would agree with that, but we did have to basically reduce a sentient giant into his component parts to create a portal just to get us here. So I think working against the odds is really kind of what we do.
Yeah, he literally turned a dude into a giant fleshy portal. It was cool.
Yeah, we're heroes.
You can see Morg is like furrowing his brow, and he turns to Arissa and he says, "These guys, they sound like bad guys."
It was willing. He did it to
Yeah,
save
you can
Morg's
actually
god.
you can confirm it's kind of fucked up. You can still talk with him.
Yeah, it's wild.
So we can take you to talk to the guy that we turned into a portal later if you want.
I mean,
Arnulf
the
will.
bad guys kill the 13. Come on.
Yeah, I mean 4 on 13 is frankly pretty bad odds. You guys
have this
doing
fun gun.
anything? You look capable.
Arnulf will step to the side of Tannen and say, "Look, we are here to retrieve the difference engine.
It's an umbral
This-
engine.
It's an umbral engine now. Have you even asked this man?" He points to the, as up until now, silent Shadow Mage. He's kind of gauging the situation between the two groups. You know, he was the one that brought that thing here.
What? The
This thing?
engine?
Yeah, the difference
Okay.
engine.
Okay, yeah.
Do you understand? You've looked outside recently, right? You've seen Big Sar, or at least from a distance.
Yeah, it's sort of why all of us ended up in jail.
Yeah, so this man here had the difference engine taken from the city, which caused the destruction of Big Sar and the dooming of Voshek Tadbird.
Wait, so I look to the mage and say, "You took this?"
I asked for it to be taken.
By who?
Well, individuals that I thought could be trusted up until now.
Oh, so they did it then.
They were contacted through a variety of intermediaries to retrieve the difference engine. And were successful, I might add. So, to place blame on what happened solely on me is a bit of a understatement, I might say. And then Tenon said, "Yeah, but you knew what would happen. You at
Yeah,
least
but you
had..."
came in here and harassed us about us not knowing 10 seconds ago.
He knew that the multi-tine network that Volshake Tadbird had would fall apart if the difference engine was taken. He knew, or at least had an idea, that there was pent up chaos energy somewhere out there that had been distributed, and he chose to have this taken. He chose to not tell anybody. And we're here to make it right, or at least try.
Well, that sounds fine. I mean, we're fine with that.
So we can take it.
Well, not right now. We need to use it first, but then you can take it.
Yeah.
Well, do you think you taking it is going to make things better?
Well, we're gonna take it, and we know someone that knows how to use it to try and make things better, not to serve some rat gods and
Yeah, no,
corrupt some
That's
orcs.
what we're here to stop. Yeah,
How
yeah.
do you know that this person can be trusted when you've already done one thing that fucked things, and now you're gonna take it to this person who could possibly fuck things more?
The person that we plan to return the engine to has communicated clearly what they plan to do with it. Instead
But how
of
do you
just
know they're not lying? For all you know, everything we've told you is a lie. All we know, everything you've told us is a lie.
All right, now let's
possible.
not get into this. This is just a waste of time.
Look, I don't
Frankly,
understand.
we don't have the time to waste. We need to go kill the 13. Do you guys want to help us? After which point, this guy's gonna get what he wants to go fuck off back to his world. And then as far as I care, you can take this Umbral engine.
And Arnulf and Arissa. Arissa will say first. She says, "You would just let him go?"
We've made an arrangement for him to...
Oh, an arrangement.
To... Yes. We
With
have
a
to
man
save...
that
We have to save
destroyed
the
an entire
orc's
city.
god. He's obviously not a good guy, but he has the same goal that we have.
Is that
To save
the downfall of Voshake Tadberg?
That was clearly not his goal in the first place. We've had a talk. We spent all of the last episode talking with him about his decisions.
So, you expect us to have trekked all the way across a cursed and blasted land that I will point out was cursed and blasted partially from our own actions, but in the lack of information provided by this man so that he could serve some rat gods and corrupt a bunch of orcs, that we should just come here, look him in the eyes, hear my dying family as they're turned into demons and falling from the sky and just the horror that was Big Sar, and just say, "Oh yeah, he can go because these random people that are in the middle of a shadow ritual said so."
Yeah, that's the short of it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty. That's from your point of view of things. Yeah, and yeah, I'm not saying what he's done is good. Like I said, he's clearly making some stupid fucking decisions and making some incredibly selfish fucking decisions. You could take a book out of an old friend of mine, and maybe once we've got this all sorted, you can take some of his fingers as recompense. But we need his help to save this orc's god, to help get basically an entire civilization of sentient people back involved in the world for the first time in generations. And it's not going to bring the dead back to life, but you taking this now isn't going to do that either. We're going to solve the problem, and then from there on, your conversation is between the two of you.
And the Shadow Mage says, I'm not going to let them kill me.
Then fight them once we're done with this.
So now the plan is you run off as disguised as me, and these people presumably just stay here with your rat child and your orc's friend and me, and I'm just supposed to take it on word that they will allow all of this to progress as you described, and then I can go off back to my world and save my gods, and they will just be okay with that.
I mean, it would be pretty hard. I'm not saying it's simple. What if we take like 3 of them and 2 of them stay here? Is that good enough? Is that enough for equal parties here to get this fucking done? We're trying to save the goddamn world here. I don't want to haggle with these fucking mercenaries that are doing what they did and cutting corners and taking jobs from shady people and fucking the world and then putting the blame on the person who hired them. You guys, like you said, have some blame in this. This guy cutting corners, hurting people in the process. The only people, as far as I'm concerned, with any kind of altruism is me and the little one with a gun. The other 2 are just here because they have to be, and one of them's a fucking lunatic. I have a lot of experience working with people who are doing bad shit for bad reasons. I'm just trying to do some good in the world.
She's cranky. She hasn't had her nap.
Yeah.
Roll
Why not being a lunatic?
roll charm, because you don't automatically pass leader or charm checks like you do with leadership.
Would you say that the people I'm trying to charm are of the same or different social class than myself?
I would say same. They are in almost exactly the same situation.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to you.
So I think, let me double check my talent. I don't think I get anything if they're the same. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be hard. And it's just a straight charm check.
I will say you can get +10 for the logic.
I passed?
Not
You
the
passed.
+10, you made it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nibis Farser steps forward in front of his companions. And this man is ancient. This is an old gnome. He is dressed in what looks like jester's clothing. Doesn't appear to have any weapons or anything on him. And he puts a hand back on the highest he can reach is kind of like the bottom of Morg's sternum, because Morg is, I believe he was he's an ogre, right? He's like,
yes,
yeah, he's like 9 feet tall.
Something like that.
And Nibis says, all right, now everybody just take a breath. We can figure this out. Sounds like there's a lot of important things going on here. And we're maybe at a nexus point, as you would call it, of all of this nonsense. Miss, he gestures to Lillian, I can understand trying to do some good in the world. I've seen a lot of things, and had a lot of things done to me, and not a lot of them were very good. But the world out there, our world, you know, we're all from Voshake Tadberg. It's fucked. It's not good. And we really need from you and from this man, you know, none of us here have any love for this shadow mage, even though he was a previous employer. We need from you your word that when all this is said and done, and then from behind him there's some like raises of concern, and he holds his hand up and he says, no, just wait. When all this is said and done, we get the difference engine. We have to have that. If you're doing good in the world for the orcs, I guess, seems like that's what you're talking about. I don't judge. Seems like a bit of a, I don't know, wild goose chase for me, saving the orcs, but you seem to feel very strongly about it. So
Gesture behind my shoulder to the very politely waiting orcs in the corner.
And he's like, "Oh, I did not see that back there. Interesting.
Her.
Sorry, her. Sure.
That's
her,
right.
Her.
Not a
Yeah.
bat, a her.
He's also a her, though you would
Hey,
be
fuck
hard
you.
pressed to understand it. Not a goblin either.
So,
Well,
what exactly is it that you have? What deal have you struck with this man here?
If we stop the 13, and we save the orcs god, we ask him to give this guy the knowledge he needs to save his god back wherever he came from. And as far as I understand the situation, the difference engine isn't going anywhere. Now, aside from this wretched creature, and I point to Celine, who, frankly, I would not trust with this device in a million years, none of the rest of us, I think, rightly care. Is that fair to say? And I look at Nab and Nesgrin.
Yep.
Yep.
And Callum will say, they can have it once we're done. When I have learned from the Great Tusk One what I need to know, this device serves no purpose to me. It was a means to an end.
So you can use it for what good you think it will do. If it caused what it did once, I don't foresee that having been fixed.
yeah, you know, I mean, if something bad happens again, that's just, you know,
That's on you guys.
yeah, basically.
So, it pains me to say this, but it sounds like what you're asking us to do is put aside revenge and be maybe a little practical about all this.
See, Cody, look at this diplomatic character I used to play. I
Yeah,
didn't kill somebody
fuck up.
once with that guy.
You really forgiving you was the practical decision that I kept making. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the long and short of it. Revenge for its own sake is usually hollow. Now, if you know, once our agreement is done, if it's still, after everything that this, and did I got this guy's name? I feel like I got
Nibis.
his name.
Oh.
Nibis,
yeah.
right.
The extremely elderly gnome.
No, the Shadow Mage.
Callum.
Callum, that's
Yeah.
it, Callum. I say, now if after everything that you see through the rest of us trying to save potentially the world in the long run of things, if you're not convinced that Callum is at least got his heart in the right place, even if his mind isn't, then that's something that you can hash out with him.
Callum will look at all of them and he'll say, I am sorry about what happened. I suspected that that you might have some kind of backlash like this. But I truly didn't know the magnitude. I didn't know that the city would be destroyed. I didn't know that so many would die. I didn't know how low I would have to stoop to gain access here to this captured divinity. I didn't intend for any of this. And Nibis kind of gives him an appraising eye, and you can tell that there's some bristling behind him, but is contained. And he says, "Give us a few minutes. We're going to talk, the 5 of us. Hold off on whatever it is you're doing here. And I promise that if, we'll at least let you know if we're going to start shooting."
I look over at Callum and I say, "Humbling day for you, coming face to face with the consequences of all your mistakes."
Well, my hope is that by the end of this, it'll all be worth it.
I look back and I say, to be fair, been a similar day for myself.
"Have your talk," he says to Nibis. And Nibis nods, does a little bow to Lillian, and the 5 of them kind of step outside the door over here. And
I go sit with Nab.
Who is literally just sitting on the floor cross-legged at this point.
Yeah.
Over in this corner, your group of NPCs is again teaching the rat child things about the world. And
The group is teaching.
yeah, it's now
Gil's like, "Dog. When you think of a dog, what do you think of?"
yeah. So you've got Corna and the mercenary and Ardron, and they're sort of talking to this rat child about things that hopefully he will experience when all of this is done.
Hell yeah.
Gonna go on
Grass
dates? That'd be
and
so cute.
and sunlight and places where it's not cold, things like that.
I just want to point out this would be a totally great character for a
Yeah.
game after this.
Yeah, exactly. This will be
That's
Nate's
what
next character.
Yeah, in the next game.
Yeah.
They'll go back with the Shadow Mage.
Yeah, it's I was once a rat, like a literal rat. I still remember being a rat, but now I'm a little bit more.
That's spooky backlighting.
I like that.
Is he frozen? Is
No.
Nacho frozen? Okay, you're so still. The shadows are clumping around your eyes. It's very spooky.
Spooky.
All right.
Yeah, that's because I
Go ahead.
turned the wrong light. Why? Light in my back.
Who are we missing? Is Arnold? Yeah, there we go. They come back in and are not guns not ready, crossbows away, swords sheathed. Tenon steps forward, and you get the sense that he enjoys giving off the idea that he is the leader of this group, but from what you witnessed, that is clearly not the case. And he says, "All right, we've come to an agreement. We don't all like it," and he kind of glances at Nibis, "but I suppose there's been enough hasty decision making and suffering because of it, and he pointedly glares at Callum, the Shadow Mage, that we can stay our rage for the sake of accomplishing some, if not the same goals, at least parallel. Making the world a better place. Things have gone to shit. And it sounds like, from what you said about Callum, things aren't great there either. And we can understand that. So, we will help. Whatever harebrained scheme you think you have to kill the 13, we don't want any part of that. But we can help protect the engine. That's what we're here for. We will stay here. You have our word that we will not harm him. And at the soonest possible time, according to, I suppose, him, we will be taking the difference engine and leaving in our airship. Never to see you again, never to lay eyes upon this cursed mountaintop ever again, and to hopefully make the world a better place, he says with just the barest hint of sarcasm.
Hey, I have an important question for you guys. You guys flew in on the airship, right?
We did.
How did you see how many dicks the orcs god had?
Morg steps forward and is like, "Oh yeah, well actually," and Tenon is like, "We already had this conversation. I do not want to revisit this. If you want to know, you will need to go look for yourself. This is
there's important things going on. All you gotta do is tell me. We're right here."
And you can see over Tenon's shoulder, Morg is like towers over him, and he holds up just 3 fingers.
And just, oh my god.
And Tenon like looks at the clearly unhidden emotion that crosses Celine's face, and he looks up and he reaches up and grabs Morg's hand and pushes it down, and he says, "It's not actually 3, but it's not important right now."
It is to me.
So
now throw some random bit of whatever at Celine.
I assist you. I give you the help action.
Look, I realized this was my moment to find out, because she's tried like 2 or 3 times and failed every time.
Well, hopefully after we save the goddamn world, we'll get out of jail. But at this point, who fucking knows?
Tenon says, "Now have whatever ghastly ritual you need to do. We're gonna wait in the hall."
Yeah, we're all gonna turn into Harry Potter real fast. We'll be right back.
And he pushes Morg out, because Morg clearly wants to have more of this conversation with Celine as they exit into the hallway.
It just dawned on me. So I realized something about Morg, where this is making sense now. Oh shit.
And Callum looks to all of you, heaves a big sigh, and he says, "Well, I suppose things couldn't get any less complicated. Are you ready?"
Let's do it.
Always happen.
He presses both of his palms to the pedestal in front of him, tilts his head back, and shadow pours from his eyes towards the ceiling as the machine begins to spin up and the room is crisscrossed with spinning shadow and light in a sort of dazzling, disorienting display. And
Does it commence to make us jump?
crisscross. We cut to Hart and Agent Bruce.
Agent Bruce.
Being a bunch of jackasses.
Fucking hater.
Originally,
You hate
Celine
her enough
liked
to hate her?
Agent Bruce.
I did, because she had the special eyes.
She did have the special eyes. So, Hart and Agent Bruce have been cutting their way up the bicep. I drew a little arrow there towards the stalk of the mushroom. And you two make a pretty dang good, like, duo. Where Hart is power and sweeping blows of this enormous castle forged sword and the unyielding defense of your dwarven training. Agent Bruce is finesse with her fencing sword, her ability to dodge and reposition and use enemies against each other. You guys cut a fine line through this chaotic rat battle that has consumed this facility.
You forgot an important descriptor. Hart's very psychotic too.
No,
That's
I
true.
mean he knows what he's doing. He's not like he isn't.
So there's no excuse for the
yeah.
things
This
he's
is
been-
rational
good to know.
decision
So
making.
he's just pure evil.
He's evil, not deranged.
Good to know. Thanks, Hunter.
Yeah, I mean I didn't want you guys to get that confused.
I'm not even gonna defend myself right now. We're just gonna wait and see what happens.
And you guys reach this building right here that borders the stalk of the mushroom. And you now are fully underneath this titanic cap of this mushroom. And the stalk towers above you. And this building is sort of built into the fungus of the stalk. And there is what appears to be a seemingly unguarded door that leads into this building. It's just it's nicer than the like rest of this rat-made facility, but isn't like particularly impressive. It's like sort of poor for human construction, but very nice for rat construction. And Bruce like presses herself up against it and motions for you to come over. And she's looking around. You guys are standing at the entrance here. And she says, "All right, it looks like most of the fighting isn't happening around here. I need you right now, fill me in a little bit more. Where are the other Sash bearers? Are they in here?"
They're colluding with the Shadow Mage.
They're at the Shadow Castle?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
I don't know, chumming around with the Prince of Change, demon stuff, hanging out with Shadow Mages. Bastard.
I have felt a demonic presence here. I should have known that where all these rats and orcs and evil lurks, of course there would be a demon prince involved. You said it was the Prince of Change?
That's what he called himself.
I'm afraid we have our work cut out for us. Do they plan to move against us? You said they wanted to save the Orcs God? Is this related to that rambling that Lillian was on about when we were at the castle?
I'll admit, I cared very deeply for Lillian. I even pledged my sword to her. But her worship of the Winter King clouds her judgment.
It is unfortunately a barbarous god.
She tried to kill me. That's why I'm not with them anymore.
She turned on you?
She says I betrayed her simply because I sought power to protect her.
Well, I mean, I suppose there are many ways to interpret that. What exactly you sought power? Through what means?
You remember Celine, the gnome?
Yes, she was very curious about the woodsman. I thought of her as not the type to do this.
She was also very curious about the miasma and made me believe that I could use it to augment my abilities.
The darkness? What?
The darkness.
Corrupts the
Which-
orcs?
Which Lillian perceived as a betrayal.
And so, did she turn on Celine as well?
I don't think she likes Celine very much, but she didn't actively try to kill her like she did me.
And that was here? In the midst of
In
your
the
mission?
Shadow Temple.
You know, the God Emperor. There's a word or a name that we have for the Winter King. He is the fallen king to our people. The king that
To the
came...
Woodsman?
No, the followers of the God Emperor. You know, my tattoo, this hammer, is his
Yes.
symbol. He is god of civilization, god of law and justice. The Winter King and his followers follow an older tradition, a tradition of barbarians and violence. There's a reason that his practices, they've fallen out among civilized people, and I'm afraid you've fallen victim firsthand to why that is. You can't plan a society or have a civilization that lives by the axe. There needs to be laws and justice and order, and unfortunately, that's not how they view things. Well, Hart, I must ask you something. Should they work against us? Should they pursue us, try to make their way here for whatever reason the Shadow Mage might have for them, or whatever quest the Winter King has for them? I need you by my side.
Agent
Can't-
Bruce, after what I've seen, I'm behind you 110%.
Stab you in the back.
Yeah, he'll fucking kill you, Agent Bruce. Watch it.
We need to kill the Orcs God.
And they think that reviving him is the only way to balance the world.
Nonsense. You don't balance a wound with gangrene. You cleanse it. You heal it. We are
With fire.
one step away from a cleansed wound. And I need your help.
I'm with you.
And she takes a step back, kicks the door in, and inside are orcs. And they are tending to what looks to be like a nursery of Skurzak babies.
Oh no.
all of these orcs
A fun heart. Psych.
are modified with implanted witchstone crystals, like you've seen many times before.
Okay.
Their witchstone crystals are embedded.
You're gonna make me kill babies, aren't you, Hunter?
I'm not gonna make you do anything. The witchstone crystals are implanted in the sides of their neck, kind of like
Oh, they're Frankenstein.
kind of like Frankenstein, but a little lower, like right here. And they are meticulously tending to dozens upon dozens of Skurzak brood, and you see this, and all of your past experiences kind of fall into place. These orcs are raising Skurzak babies. The entire purpose of this manipulation and mutation, the Skurzak were searching for brood mothers, a new caste of brood raising individuals that they could control.
Childcare is getting way out of control. This is the solution we're coming up with.
And you see, well, we won't get there yet, but they turn to you, and you see that they are feeding these Skurzak young miasma harvested from the like, one of the walls is cut away where the stalk of the mushroom kind of intersects into the building, and they are meticulously harvesting pieces of the mushroom and preparing it in a little area, and then sort of, it's like a nursery, and they are raising these chosen Skurzak young on miasma.
Okay.
And Agent Bruce shouts at the top of her lungs, "I have never seen anything more foul," and falls into them with her sword and begins chopping through these orcs. And they reach for any implement that they have at their disposal to
Formula bottles, diaper bags.
begin defending themselves and the brood. And you see that some of them, they're like selflessly pushing forward and like attacking her with fist and like trowels and just like any implements that they have, as other ones are like in organized and like purposeful fashion gathering up the Skurzak young to take them away. And Bruce shouts to you, "Don't let them escape with that foul brood."
I'm going to invoke my talent of indifference, which allows me to view visceral and blood-soaked scenes without withstanding any psychological effects or corruption. And I am just going to pretend that I am fine with this and fall right in line and begin cutting them down.
I just want to say, you guys said we needed to revisit Entreat the Darkness because of Violette's action, and then the next game we play, you're literally like, "Hey, kill some babies."
They're rat babies, so just imagine it's Mocha and Boba.
That's worse!
Absurd. I hate you, Cody. Why would you say that?
They're much
I
more
just gotta
humanoid.
make him feel guilt.
But yeah,
you know?
it's like the worst of both worlds.
I don't know. There's a point at which like a half baby rat becomes truly an abomination
Adorable.
to look at.
Yeah, you're right.
I think animal, very cute. actual baby, fine.
Fine.
Half rat human baby, maybe actually fine to kill that.
Jesus.
Out of character, out of character.
So are
Chris
you
is just
are you
like,
gonna
how could
try
you say
and
that?
make it to the tenders that are trying to escape with the young?
Yes.
All right.
Man,
Roll
I don't think
me
even Celine had done that.
roll me warfare. Unless you would like
I'm
to
gonna reroll.
you may.
Use the misfortune points. He's
Yeah,
doing
he's doing some
evil.
vile shit. Ah!
Oh. So
Get fucked!
you and Agent Bruce try to cut your way through these orcs tenders and are very successful in butchering these orcs because they are truly selflessly defending the Skurzak brood. They are almost literally throwing themselves onto your sword to prevent you from getting to the ones that are escaping with the young Skurzak. And this is behavior that you have never seen in orcs before, because this is highly organized, highly like coordinated, and truly like selfless. And you get the sense that this is almost like a brainwashing kind of thing, that these orcs tenders have been created for this purpose, and they are serving their function exceptionally well, because you and Agent Bruce are unable to get any of the Skurzak young while trying to hack your way through these orcs. And they take off out of a door that you can see goes back outside and away from the stalk of the mushroom and into the fray of whatever horrible violence is happening outside.
And chase, Agent Bruce said don't let any get away.
And you guys finish butchering the last of these tenders that have stayed, and Agent Bruce sort of looks around at the surroundings, and she looks to you and she said, I knew that there were foul things happening here, but I couldn't begin to imagine orcs and Skurzak working together. They're raising some kind of, and she walks over to the like part of the mushroom that's been cut away where you can see like veins of miasma flowing up. They're feeding them this?
Drink it, Topher.
This material that curses the orcs with their inhumanity? What could they possibly...
I can speak from experience and say that it enhances one's abilities.
And she turns to you and she says, They're making super Skurzak? They're...
Warriors of some sort.
This is horrendous. We must stop this. And she says, we can't worry about the young that got away. I didn't expect... And she looks at the truly, like, carnage where you have just massacred almost entirely unarmed orcs. I didn't expect them to resist so strongly. It's no matter now.
Almost like it was against their own will.
That's worrying. We must press on. And there's a door that leads. It's this door right here. It connects the room to this like tower. And she runs to it, throws it open, and presses forward. With you probably at her heels. And we cut back to Shadow Castle, where the...
You sure you don't want to taste the babies, Topher?
Listen, I'm just glad I didn't have to kill babies. I'm just following Ancient Bruce.
Yeah.
That was your 30-30
I'm
mistake.
just happy that I failed, says the man who used a fortune point to try
To
again.
try and
Yep.
kill babies.
Oops, I
That's a
missed
very
my
solid
first
point.
shot. Better make a second shot.
Good thing I missed.
Really gotta sell this accident.
Right.
Oh no, an accident.
He shot himself in the back. We all agreed it was an
All right,
accident.
let's do
I
some
mean,
unholy magic,
I
shall we?
had to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure that Agent Bruce believed me, right?
Sure.
Not just the adults, but the younglings.
He killed younglings, but he didn't, by choice, sort of.
Yeah.
So the spinning of the umbral engine reaches a fever pitch as you are almost like the features of the room disappear
Cody.
in a whirl of light and shadow, and then suddenly he closes his eyes and like throws his head down. The machine locks into place where each of you is in a like sliver of shadow, and the rest of the room is illuminated by this blinding like central core of the machine. And you feel physically the tangible shadow begin to wash over your skin. And it is a almost nauseating sensation of wrongness, because you are experiencing the touch of something that shouldn't touch you, as the shadow washes over you, over your face and your body. And
How do we rate this on a scale of 1 to being stretched like a rubber band when going through a dimensional portal?
it's similar to that, but it's more like have you ever really jammed your finger and then it feels wrong for like 10 minutes afterwards, where your body's like, hey, we fucked this up and something's like wrong on the inside?
I hate that.
That is what it feels like to be touched by shadow. And so everybody needs to
hedgehog.
roll a resolve check.
I use my special item, the Resolute Desk.
The resolute desk.
Yeah, it gives me extra resolve.
Nice.
I carry the desk with me.
You're just like holding on your shoulder. I dual wield it with my axe.
That's like the Hulk.
Yep.
Nate just want to fail.
Resolve.
Under
Fail.
willpower.
Resolve. Yeah. I failed.
So there are 2 points left.
Yeah, 2 whole points. We'll give 5 to them, and they'll use it to one-shot us in the first combat.
I will just accept my fate.
Is your mind
know, that-
already broken? Where's your mind at right now?
That sounds like a fun end to this campaign, guys.
Ignacio, do you want to re-roll your fail, or are you okay?
No, I'm going to accept this
Okay.
as it is.
So, you both suffer. This is, I believe, our first ever instance of terror,
Oh.
as 14 points of peril damage. Your body tells you that the illusion that is taking over your form is true. You perceive that you are molded by the touch of this shadow into a facsimile of Callum Everstreet, the Shadow Mage. And so the illusion is so convincing that your senses yourself believe this. And so, Celine, how would you scream, or would you, like, how would you interpret this new sensation? Because I know you're kind of into that thing a little bit.
That she is Callum now?
That your body believes that you are being physically reshaped into Callum Everstreet.
I don't think I get a peril modifier anymore. I actually take a point of peril damage. Damn.
You also suffer 6 corruption.
Nice.
I can live with that
Jeez.
now. I got what I
Nice.
wanted earlier. How does she? She is probably never experienced something where her body is freaking out, but her mind isn't.
Yeah, because you
Not
know
like
it's an
this.
illusion. Like you,
Yeah.
you know, like what's the word? Intellectually, that this is not what's happening, but every one of your senses is freaking the fuck out.
So knowing Celine, if she is in her right mind about this is something new and interesting to learn about. She's probably gonna I don't want to say succumb, but she's going to let the feelings just flow and take it all in and experience it.
So yeah, so you all hear from Celine's corner of this
Moaning.
Yeah, you hear like an
This is-
involuntary like, oh yeah.
Hellraiser. This is Hellraiser. Pain and pleasure, 2 sides of the same coin.
And then Nesgrin, you are experiencing the same thing. This like disconnect between knowing it's an illusion and feeling that it's real.
I'll try to. I will try to. I have the word.
Like suppress?
Yeah, not stop it. Stop it. I want to stop.
Okay. So you try to like resist the magic.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
Because since she knows how to be apart from soul, like
yeah.
her body out, so she doesn't want to lose
Yeah.
her body.
Experience that loss of the body. And you are shaken, and this is sort of where your corruption comes from, by the realization that you are like so entirely powerless to resist the strength of this magic magnified by the machine. You are simply along for the ride, and any thought that you have about like resisting or stopping it or making it not happen is washed away in this overwhelming physical sensation. And the light dims from the center of the machine. It slowly whirls back into place, casting shadows around the room. Callum steps back, and he looks to all 4 of you, and he says, I have to say, you all make a handsome lot, and you all see that the 4 of you are perfect representations of Callum Everstreet, the Shadow Mage of Shadow Castle. And he says,
Celine is over there sweating a little bit. She's like, oh, that was intense.
This is some misogynistic bullshit. In order for 4 women to save the world, we have to look like men.
Yeah, that's true. And he says, all right, that's the hard part, I hope. This cloak should allow you to pass through the fighting and the conflict without any harassment. I will, like I said, lead the way with some shadow voices to scatter any stragglers or foolhardy Skurzak. And the combination of these things should allow you safe passage from here to the stock. and you will then need to ascend and find some way to kill the 13, or at least cut them off. And then hopefully you can revive the Tusked One, and we can put all of this trouble behind us.
Right.
Someone call in our friends. They'll want to be here. Corna, that's your name,
Yeah.
right? She says, and she kind of looks over. And he says, you practice magic, correct? And she says, yes, I've learned to do a few spells. He says, I'll need your assistance. Come here. And she kind of looks questioningly to like Celine and Lillian, but stands up and walks over to where he's showing her. There's like on the floor over in this corner of the room what kind of looks like a mini version of that magic circle that the doctor had in his tower back at Fort Pertswell. And he begins kind of instructing her on how to use that.
Awesome.
Then presumably either one of you or one of the NPCs allows the other group back in.
Probably not one of us if we all look like
Yeah.
the guy that they're pissed at. Peek our head out and get decapitated.
And so they come in and look at the four of you and kind of peer over at where he's instructing Corna. And Arissa says, and when I thought things couldn't get any weirder.
Don't worry. If you're looking for one of us to shoot, it's going to be the one that's actually insufferable.
And,
I feel like that could be taken as me.
Arnold says, that really doesn't narrow it down hardly at all.
Well, I take that personally as an offense, but well, name a better disguise than the one guy all the rats are scared of.
All right, so
And-
Celine has to know how good this illusion is. She's got a penis, right?
Absolutely.
Oh no, please no. Not right now.
Because
Chris
If she touches
excuses
it, can
herself.
she like feel it? Like, does it have like basically?
No.
Does it feel? Ah, she's a little disappointed. So she just like shoves her hand down her pants, excited, is like, oh.
And everyone who can see you or is looking at you kind of gives you a disgusted or confused look.
Oh, we can't attack anyone, right? This was one of the.
So you were told that any like great exertion will disrupt the illusion. So like if you were to get into combat or have to climb a wall or go sprinting off, it will disrupt the shadow magic.
Okay.
Can we see that Nesgrin is like distressed by what just happened?
Probably that her facial expression as Callum would be of like discomfort, to say the least, when it ends.
Yeah.
All right.
You can see in her face like, I want to punch him, but I can't punch him because I will have to go through this again, and then. Oh.
I'm gonna go over to that Callum, cause I mean,
Yeah,
probably, as
the
long
one
as
that you
nobody's
know is
moved to
Nesgrin.
realize who it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not Nesgrin. It's over here. And I've been waiting to try this for so.
I don't like
I'm
that.
gonna start talking to Nesgrin, and I'm going to use Insidious Whisper.
Are we actually the bad guys? Is there like 1.5 good guys on our
You
entire
just
party?
Wait.
Yeah.
when standing next or engaged with a person who can also hear you, you can use your voice to compel another. I have to do a guile test.
And this is a good thing, Nesgrin. This can be a good thing, I should say.
It's can't or can. And
Can be a good thing.
There's the potential for it to be
All
good.
right. So, you weren't supposed to reveal that. Sure, come on.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. For 10 minutes, or I think that's what my willpower bonus is. 10 minutes. I get to force this person to experience an emotion of my choice, which includes like anger, anticipation, disgust, fear, joy, sadness, surprise, or trust. Those are suggestions. I'm not sure what emotion it would be, but something that would be like a calming and more relaxing
Calm is an
effect,
emotion.
basically. Okay. And then I want Nesgrin to move up one on the peril condition track. And just, be like soothing things like, hey, it's okay, like you'll get through this.
Don't actually
worry
have a
about
penis.
it.
It's
Yeah,
not
you
real.
don't actually have a penis. It's not real. I found out. Don't worry. That has no
I checked for you.
feelings. I checked for us. And yeah, once this whole experience of the emotion has passed after 10 minutes, they have no idea it was me.
Yeah, so Nesgrin, against all of your better judgment, you find this soothing. The Callum that you know is Celine comes over to you after your body has been physically remolded by shadow magic and says, hey, you don't have a penis for real. It's okay. And you are
good.
like, oh, thank God. I feel so much better about what has happened. And you move up one on the peril condition track.
Yeah.
The worst kind of priest.
All right.
Hey, your penis isn't real.
Don't worry, your penis isn't real.
There are people in the world that I'm sure actually need to hear that in real life, but I never thought I would hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think that's how this conversation was gonna end up, and then you mentioned that, I'm like, oh, Celine would totally do that, so she's rolling with it.
Oh my goodness. All right, are we ready to start our
And so we will, if everybody is okay with it, if we're done with the scene here in the computer room, we'll do the little bit leading up to where we will end, and we'll end in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Are we all good
Sure.
at where we are? Any words to Corna or the Rat Child or the crew from the prologue or the Shadow Mage?
I don't know if I ever found out, but Celine will like approach the child and be like, take care now, son? Daughter?
I'm a boy.
Take care now, son, because I don't think I ever figured that out. So, mommy will come back, Corna, and I forgot Nesgrin's
No
brother.
one
will take
ever
care of
remembers
you.
Nesgrin's brother's name.
Ardron.
Drone.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ardron and the Rat Child will look up at you. And
So glad you're bonding.
yeah, and Ardron says, he's got a lot of interesting insight. There's things that you wouldn't think about having not been a rat. And
You'll have to tell mommy all about it when she gets back, and she'll like kiss him on the cheek.
and he'll take your hand and accept your kiss and look in your eyes. And
He's probably confused even more so. This is like the third.
no,
change.
he says, Mommy, I've learned that no matter what you look like, you still love me.
It's fucked up.
Celine actually
This is
tears
fucked
up a
up.
bit, and there's actually a twinge in her called Dead Heart.
And he says, Be
And-
safe, Mommy. Go ahead.
And Nab, meanwhile, is just like muttering to herself. She's like, "What the fuck has my life turned into?"
I look say, you can come pet the wolf if you want. Um, and I go up.
Is
to
that what
Skill.
Lillian calls her new penis?
Yep.
Pet the wolf.
You could come pet the wolf. It doesn't feel a thing.
The Winter King's bite.
Treat
God.
it like a balloon animal.
I want to go up to Skeel and sort of just like, as an aside, just kind of be like, keep an eye on yourself and Corna first. If it's you or her, your lives are more important in this case.
I understand. If you should die, what would you wish for me?
If you can safely. No. Just take care of yourself.
I will. You take care of yourself too.
I don't intend to die here today.
I suppose we can only see.
Damn, let's go. Let's go murder some fucking rats.
And I did want to say your rat son Celine says, "Be safe, mommy. I want to see the grass. You got to take me to the grass when this is all over."
This time Nab tears up but turns away so nobody sees it.
For sure, this is
We'll
gonna
get to
end
ha-
with
you'll
somebody being
experience
buried in the
All
grass.
sorts of amazing things.
And
Oh my god, one of us is gonna die.
is
I
my-
can see the funeral scene already.
I have no idea what this child's name is. I don't think Celine named it. She never asked
It's him now. You can't say it now.
him. Yeah,
There's a
sorry,
book,
you're
whole
right.
book called A Child Called It, talking about what that does to
Okay.
someone.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Does it? I don't know if I should name him or not.
Ardron will
That's
come
what
up
I'm
to
just-
you, Nesgrin, and he'll look at you, and he chuckles, but it's like a weird rat chuckle, and he says, "You know, Nesgrin, all this shit, and here we are. You're some fucked up shadow mage. I'm in a rat body. I guess I'm raising a rat child.
Helping.
Helping.
Co-parenting. Co-parenting
village.
is still parenting.
Takes a village. Yeah.
If you don't, oh man, I'm actually losing my voice. I'm not crying.
Don't lie.
Ugh.
Hunter made himself cry.
God damn it. If you don't come back from this, I just want to say I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to live in your head. I didn't mean to take the gauntlets. I'm sorry you had to go through all that shit because I was born. It's not fair. I just want to say thank you for finding me, for carrying me, I guess, if you could call it that. Come back.
Yeah, I will come back. If not, I will hunt you forever.
This is good.
You know what? I actually believe that. If whatever fucked up thing we got going on here, I feel like if you die in that godforsaken mushroom, I will never ever hear the end of it. So
No,
don't
you
do
won't.
that. I don't want to deal with that shit. And with that, the Shadow Mage cadre, you make your way down through the castle and exit out the northern doors. You pass by on your way out with some, worrying or maybe slight concern.
I do this to people as they walk by.
Yeah, no, more of the security camera people in various states of sitting or standing, with the masks on.
Oh, we'll take care of that.
And you exit out into the facility in chaos. It is scattered skirmishes and like groups of rats rallying and charging into each other. The like shanty town above you to the right is like smoking with green fire coming out of buildings and stuff. And from your feet, wisps of shadow emerge and lead ahead of you. And like billowing dark smoke that traces along the ground, you can hear just the tiniest bit from these shadows the voice of Callum the Shadow Mage as he whispers, "Clear the path. I am everywhere. Do not interfere." And the shadows push up ahead of you through up the stairs of the rickety crossings and stuff, and you follow. And you see, as this passes through, gangs of rats that are in like mid combat. Their ears prick up as they hear this, and they look at their feet and immediately like push away from each other, scatter off away from the voice of the Shadow Mage. And the four of you march in identical disguise, the rats pointing and screaming and running as this there's like a word that I am missing, like harbinger or like precursor leads your way. And yes,
like everything about us is disguised, including the fucking shot electric gun, the soul gun.
you are fully disguised. All of your gear and everything is hidden beneath this this facade.
I can't help myself from, as we're walking at some point, just going, I could get used to this.
And you see the terror kind of spread out from you as rats that were in the middle of like murdering each other break and run off to their various parties and platoons and stuff. And you are able to make your way following what quickly becomes a body-strewn path towards a door on the side of a building leading towards the stock that has been kicked open. And inside are the butchered bodies of dozens upon dozens of witchstone augmented orcs in what looks like a nursery. And that is where we will end today's Scarlet Sash Stories episode. Hart and Agent Bruce pressing up through the stalk of the mushroom with the sash bearers hot on their heels in disguise. And you will just have to tune in next time for the next episode to find out how all of this shakes out. Will they save the orc's god? Will anybody die? Is Hart actually the good guy? We don't know. We'll just have to find out next time. So, thank you for watching. Thank you to my cast members. We have Topher as Hart, Ignacio as Nesgrin, Nathan as Celine, Cody as Lillian, and Chris as Nabeen. We are Fiends and Friends. We do this kind of stuff like all the time. You could actually even check us out tomorrow on our channel. Our channel is called Fiends and Friends. where we will be playing Dragon Age RPG. We'll be doing our mercenary company show that's called From Ashes. And kind of a similar dynamic going on in that game where we're all kind of hating each other and having a really good time doing it.
Yep.
So follow
Hate
here.
anyone.
My character has done nothing wrong. I will establish that as
yeah.
fact.
That anyone knows
I
about.
neither.
So follow the Zweihander channel here for more Scarlet Sash stories, as well as there's a new show that I don't know the title of, but is in the videos below that has just started that you should check out. They're playing Blackbirds, which is an amazing system. And follow us on Fiends and Friends, where we do a bunch of other stuff like D&D and Dragon Age RP and that sort of stuff. So with that, we are off. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.